What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Untitled Gaming Channel. My name's AJ Gales. How y'all doing? It's time once more for the weekly show. Usually I sit down, I gather articles and videos, from throughout the week. That's how you say that. About video game news. We sit here, I read articles, I talk about them, I give my takes, I ask for your guys' opinions. Down in the comments, always say, you can always tell me your opinions in the comments, or maybe send me article links that either I missed or stuff throughout the week that you want to see covered in the next week. Just this week, really not much going on. I mean, there was a few articles. That BioWare won't be shutting down if Anthem tanks, or that what Xbox is doing for the next generation, but nothing big that I can make like a new point on, or any big news to really talk about. So I thought this would be fun because I saw that a new Shadow of the Tomb Raider video, I think it's Welcome to Paititi. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is I think that show on the Travel Channel with Josh Gates. Yeah, I can't remember what the hell the show's called. I love the show though. They were looking for Paititi. But yeah, I mean, with Shadow of the Tomb Raider coming out, it's almost August. Coming out September 14th, so geez, a week after Spider-Man. It's just, I'm super excited about this game. This is weird to me though. This it's rated T, but mature with blood. How's that work? Either way, I'm super pumped for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So we have a gameplay demo from E3 that I somehow missed. That we're gonna watch. I think it's one of those, they sit down with the developers and watch it, and then we'll watch the video that released yesterday. For this is what all we'll be doing in this video. Anything else? Seeing that this is the last video of July, I'll kind of give you a little update what's going on for the rest for August. I think the 3 games that I have planned are we'll continue the long shot from Madden 18 with Madden 19 this year. The first episode of the final season of The Walking Dead from Telltale comes out next month. And Yakuza Kiwami 2 comes out at the very end of August. So we have all those on the docket. I might also start 1 or 2 other things next month. It all kind of comes down to just scheduling and what I can get my hands on, yada yada. And other than that, throughout today, expect to see a lot of Hard West and Rage. Just because I want to try and get those done today, just to get those off the docket. So that's about it. Let's get into this.
Hey everybody, welcome back to PlayStation Live from E3. I'm Meredith Molinari, joined by Danielle and Rich and my...
Okay, I gotta ask this again, because I was wondering this at E3. What the fuck is up with her outfit? I'm like, it's like a kimono, but also it looks like a bathrobe. It has individual pant legs, the mint green heels. And just like every part of that is just Jesus. Look, I have no place to bag on people's fashion, because my fashion sense, I wear a t-shirt and jeans every day. But yeah.
Good friend Ramon.
All right, I promise that's probably the most shallow that I'm going to get today.
Sorry, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Took you a second there, didn't it?
This is where Lara Croft has her defining moment of actually becoming the Tomb Raider. Talk to us a little bit about how that idea got started.
It started the Tomb Raider 2013. We start talking about that when we start, working on the actual reboot of the origin story. We knew where we wanted her to start. We knew where we wanted her to end, and that was the most important thing. So when we started on 2013, she was fresh out of university. She was exploring. She was, discovering what it means exactly to be a Tomb Raider. And then on Rise, that's where, she really expressed and wanted to go on her own, say, I'm going to be discovering these things. And on Shadow, she's much more experienced, much more mature. She knows what she can do. She knows who she is. And this is where the game is pushing that boundaries, where we want to go to. Before that was all about actions and consequence, but the action of other people, she had to deal with the consequence of that. And this time around, she has to deal with the consequence of her own actions.
And we can see her in the footage that we guys have released online.
What? Jeez, I wouldn't pause. My mouse is freaking out there. Okay, I get that. My biggest question, through all of this has been, because we know it's set in South America. It's kind of the Mayan with the next video that we're looking at. It's centered in Paititi. Paititi being apparently a lost city of gold to the... Oh, is it Mayans? I thought the Paititi were for the Incans. No, I think it was the Mayans. Either way. It was where a whole bunch of gold was sent to escape the Spanish Inquisition in the South, or in South America, all that. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to say it's kind of like El Dorado, because I'm not entirely sure if that's a fair comparison. But Paititi is, again, it's one of those like lost cities sort of thing that we're finding in this one. My entire question is, like, we get that's where she's going to be, but my question is, what is going on with Trinity? How are they going to tie into this? And I guess my biggest question is, my biggest thing with it is, I don't think that they've really set up Trinity. I mean, they've set Trinity up to be kind of her main antagonist. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of saw it in the first one, or really didn't see it in the first one. They were really introduced in the second one. I think they were in the first one, kind of, but not really. And then, if you saw the Tomb Raider film with that Vikander, that a lot more stuff with Trinity in there, but I also think that movie was kind of questionable. But sorry, I'm getting off track here. But my whole thing with the Tomb Raider series is, I feel like Trinity has almost kind of been an afterthought. They're trying to have like one main villain, like this evil secret empire kind of society of Trinity in the background of all of this stuff that Lara is kind of going out and tomb raiding. But why is she in South America? Is she sent there because of Trinity, or is she just there and runs into Trinity? And if so, if this is going to be the last like Tomb Raider game in this trilogy, how are we going to get some sort of resolution to that? How is she going to tear down Trinity as an organization? Is she not going to tear them down as an organization? Are they still going to exist? How is that going to work? I mean, I get what he's saying, that this has been Lara dealing with other people's choices and actions and all this, and Lara's kind of being used kind of as this, like, the vehicle through which the story is being told. But the question is, right now, is with Lara's decisions, are these going to be end of the world decisions? Is this going to be her versus Trinity? There's so much that I'm curious of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, just because I think overall, I think the story for these have been more set up for another game, if that makes sense. I think after Shadow of the Tomb Raider, there still needs to be that one more where they're not doing this. They're doing this almost like an Uncharted game, where Nate is going after, he's going after El Dorado, and then runs afoul of of the main enemy from the first Uncharted game. In the second one, Nate's going looking for Shambhala and ends up running afoul of that bald dude whose name I can't remember. In the third one, he was looking for the City of Brass, and then he ends up, he's always kind of fighting Marlene the entire time, and at that one we knew who the enemy was pretty much from the get-go, but it's always a different villain. And then in 4, again, it's Nadine and the dude with the creepy hair who had that undercut that I fucking hate. It's always a different villain, so they all kind of exist as little standalone experiences. With the Tomb Raider games, they're sending Lara to all these different environments, which is cool, but the problem is, when you have that one enemy, at some point they're going to have these two guys, Lara and Trinity, face off against each other. I know this seems like I'm rambling, but I promise I'm trying to make a point here. That at some point in time, Lara and Trinity are going to have a face-off. And I think that's what the fourth game would be just that. It's not necessarily raiding tombs. I'm sure that would have some sort of some sort of aspect, or maybe that's what they're going to do with this one. But it's just everything that we're getting from this one, or everything that I've seen so far, has been telling me that, no, this is just another, Lara's here, finds out that Trinity's here, and then they race for this, for their whatever their goal is. Maybe, she's trying to stop them from getting some sort of object, or this, that, the other thing. It's my question with this is, how is it going to work at the very end of this game? Like, what's going to happen to a Trinity? And of course, this is stuff that I'm never going to know. And I always ask these questions, like expecting developers to tell me these things, because of course they wouldn't sit down and tell me these things, at something like E3. It's just I want to know the relation between Lara and Trinity right now. That is my biggest question, and I don't think as far as I've seen, we've not gotten an answer to that, and it's just, I want to see how all of this comes to a head in this game, and if it doesn't, I want to ask, why are they stopping here? I think they could have made a fourth, but, alright, before we keep going, I gotta go check in the other room. My cat's doing something. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, he was just sitting on a table, knocking stuff over. Whatever. I let him come in here and sit on my lap, except he's going to be a little asshole about it and bite me in the hand, so it's not fun. All right, sorry about that rambling. Whatever. If you got something out of that, I'm glad.
She's got some super updated techniques that she's using. Talk to us a little bit about one of my favorite new features is the traversal stuff that she's doing.
For the traversal, one of the things that is important for us, it's really to bring the aspect of survival, keep that, but also having a much more experienced Lara. Like, for example, on Rise, you always have to climb up, and then when you were going down, you were dropping or going down a slope to come back. So in this case here, we had the rappel down, so really going down, and that will provide a lot more control in terms of how Lara explores, and also the underwater.
Which, right, we're going to get to see a piece of this right here. This is so cool.
I think what's really important is that since we're showing Lara being the most confident, the most capable she's ever been, we have to make sure we're upping the stakes in every other part of the gameplay. So when you ask about traversal, yes, the world now is pushing back even more. The world is always a character in the Tomb Raider games. And so the world is protecting its secrets, so it's going to make it even more challenging for her. So there's a little bit of a, how am I going to get up there? You've got the rappel, you've got the wall run, you've got the swing. So these are all things that add a layer of difficulty to the exploration and the traversal.
You mean like that?
And now she's fighting like eels in the underwater.
Absolutely. Well, if you're going to, so our fans have been asking us for swimming. It's one of the things that was always a hallmark of the previous Tomb Raider games, the classic ones. And whenever we deliver something that the fans are asking for, sometimes you have to be careful what you wish for, because we're always going to view it through our modern survival lens. And so in this case, we say, all right, if you're going underwater, if you're swimming, it's going to be underwater survival. You're going to have to deal with air pockets. You're going to have to deal with piranhas and moray eels. You're going to have to think about, do I really want to explore what's down that dark cavern? Because I don't know if there's an air pocket. It might be a hidden tomb. It might be a reward. It might just be my death waiting for me.
And this is all going back to the world just pushing back against you because she's so adept now, right?
Absolutely. It's the world has these hidden pockets of...
Okay. Dude, don't act like this is some special thing that you're doing. This has been something that's been in games since what? I mean, what? AC4 did this, and what? How long ago was that game? How long ago did that game come out? What? That was 2013. Yeah, that was 2013 when AC4 came out. AC4 was doing stuff like that. I mean, maybe not to this level. I mean, this looks really good, but games have been playing the hell. The Witcher had this, and yes, the Witcher came out. The point I'm trying to make is this is not something that's unique to you. So many games have done this in so many different ways, dating back to so long ago. Underwater survival, as you're saying, it's not like you're crafting things. It's not like we're doing combat. You're basically doing the whole, well, where's the point of no return? Can I make it? Do you have upgradable, like an air system or something? Like, do you upgrade Lara's lungs with experience throughout the game, or how's that work? I mean, that's really not anything special. I mean, like it looks cool, but why is that such a special thing in this? Somebody explain that to me. I don't get why they're geeking out over that.
Secrets, it protects the truth, and Lara's one of the few people in the world that has the skills and the will to actually go and survive in those areas in order to uncover those truths.
So you actually could run out of air and then just be stuck under there and die and have to start over. That's very cruel.
Absolutely.
Okay, so right now, are we going to see one of the tombs that are going to be in this game?
Yes, this is absolutely the entrance. So what Lara's doing here is so here she goes talking about have to find the good segue.
Did she say she has to find the Temple of Doom?
She is unraveling a mystery, and she knows that Trinity is hunting for this relic, and Lara wants to find it first. And this is to Dan's point when he was talking about Lara, really being on this journey where she feels like she's the only one that can take the fight to Trinity, the only one that can defeat them. That's actually going to lead to her being a little bit more aggressive and making a rash decision that's going to trigger the Maya apocalypse.
Yes.
So what are the
Okay. There we go. That's actually a little bit of an answer. So from the way they're talking about this, I'm gonna guess this might be a little kind of early game-ish. What they're talking about here. I'm super curious on what they're going to be doing with their tombs in this one. I mean, again, acting like, oh, well, their tombs are, oh, well, they're special tombs. I'm like, okay, well, so is the last 2 games involved special tombs that you can only find in, if you look in certain places. That's not new to this game. I mean, that's something that's existed in this series. Hell, I'd say this franchise for a long time. But I kind of like what they said there with how Lara sees that she's the only one who can stop Trinity. Okay, thank you. We just now so she sees this and then accidentally brings upon this Mayan apocalypse. There we go. Now we have an answer. So how to put this? This still, I still want to know how the culmination of all this is going to work, but we have the setup of what I'd say like a final game in this series would have to be. The series of Lara versus Trinity. We have the setup that Lara's going to find this. She's trying to find this item, or trying to get this item to stop them, but at the same time, but again, my question becomes: is she just trying to stop them today, or trying to stop them overall? Like, will finding this item shut down Trinity? But because if it doesn't, well, then there could be more games. But like you have to give me a reason that this is the last one beyond, well, you just don't want to make any more. Well, okay, but you have the option to. You have to give me some sort of finality to it. Otherwise, again, this is just me speaking out of from my own place, my own opinion. But it's like I was trying to get at earlier. It's this question of. So from what they just said, I have that set up. It's Lara versus Trinity, and then we find this Mayan Doomsday thing, which then will lead to Lara doing her normal Tomb Raider stuff. So I have a little bit of an answer to my question, but still, the thing I'm really interested about. I'll try and stop using the same words to say this, but it is just how this is all going to come together at the end to give us the grand conclusion of this Lara versus Trinity thing. I think Trinity needed to be introduced more in the first game than it did, just because I feel like we kind of really understood who Trinity was at the end of the second, and now it's the last game of the series. I think there needed to be one more in between that and the final one, but again, this is just my opinion. This is just me looking at this is just me analyzing what I know of the story so far. So.
Some of the new gameplay.
Sorry, I'm sitting here ranting.
Excited for people to try out.
That's kind of what this show is, though. So.
And what are the gameplay systems you're most excited about?
The gameplay system I'm most excited about is I would say about the underwater is one of the things, because not only you see it here, it's about survival and anything, but there's moments there of full exploration. It's scary, but it's full exploration. It's very open, and you can explore. Also, all the system of the hidden city, all the interaction that you have with people, it provides a certain depth to the character you've never seen before with interacting with all these people and learning about the culture and learning about the world. Because this is going to be the most Tomb Raiding of all the Tomb Raiders of the origin story, and that was important for us because that was the trajectory. So going and finding your first living, breathing tomb, that is something very special.
And I also love the combat, because we really, again, if Lara's going to be at the height of her experience, at the height of her skills, we have to make sure that we're upping the challenge for the player. And so you are starting with a Lara that's very capable, very calculating, but Trinity has her outgunned, outnumbered. They have better tactics. They're bringing their A game to try and make the Maya apocalypse happen so they can shape the world in their vision. So Lara has to use a lot more tactics, and so we really increase the number of stealth options at your disposal, the number of assault options at your disposal. So you've still got choice in how you play. And one of the things I'm most excited about is, in previous games, if you were in stealth and then you got found, you go into assault and the enemies always knew where you were. You could not get back into.
Okay. I now again have more narrative questions. I'm sorry to keep doing this, but they just gave me some conflicting information. What they're just about to talk about is how, when in the previous games you get found, you go into an assault kind of thing. Okay, that's kind of like with Splinter Cell Conviction with the last known position sort of idea. But with what they just said, that Trinity's now trying to cause this Mayan apocalypse. But I thought they just said that it's a decision that Lara made, that Lara will make that will bring about the apocalypse. So why is Trinity trying to end the world? I thought Trinity wanted to rule the world. Am I wrong here? If I just do I need to go back and play Rise of the Tomb Raider again to get this back in my head? Because I don't remember that. I don't remember Trinity's goal to be destroy the world. I thought they wanted to conquer it. So again, what is the narrative we're telling here? Give me. I want an outline. I've never gotten here. I mean the whole city of Paititi, like they just were talking about the whole Lost City thing. That's interesting. Except we kind of had that in Rise of the Tomb Raider. When we went up into the mountains, there were kind of like small. Little like small communities or safe areas, kind of like hubs that you could find and talk to people and kind of give a side quest. It felt a little bit more natural. It felt very alive. It was well done. I'm sure this is going to be more, but again, this is that kind of stuff from developers that I've never understood, where it's like, oh, well, we have this brand new thing. Well, okay, well, it's not really new. It may be new to this game series. It might be an updated or a new version of what you did previously, but all in all, it's not new.
Stealth, so we've completely overhauled it so that the enemy AI will eventually give up looking for you. So you can hide up in the trees, you can evade them for long enough that they will then go back to their normal patrols, and then you can re-engage on stealth.
Well, and the jungle is the perfect environment for that, because you see it's so lush. There's all these, high grass you can hide, and then the trees, and you guys climb up there. And then I even saw at one point where she climbs up and has to traverse over a long log and then jump down on her.
Absolutely.
All right, they're talking about the traversal and the combat and everything. I mean, we've seen that in previous trailers and bits of gameplay, but what we're seeing here, I'm really curious about this. Does this game not have a HUD? Because as you see, when they're aiming the bow and they shot and we're climbing, we're not seeing a marker of how many arrows we have. We're not seeing a marker of where we're aiming. I'm going to assume that's being pulled out for this little demo, or for the demo that we're looking at right now. But that would be really weird if that's being pulled from the game entirely.
And this is what we call becoming one with the jungle. And there's this great moment in the game where Lara...
So what, we're becoming Rambo?
And she's focused on it, just intently, like, okay, this is my threat. And meanwhile, another jaguar is sneaking up behind her, and it gets the jump on her. And she learns this is how the jungle operates. And so from then on, Lara becomes the jaguar woman, where she will hide in the canopy, she will hide in the lush vine walls, strike, and then disappear again. And so this idea of becoming one with the jungle means using it to Lara's advantage, using it to sow fear and chaos with the enemy, and using it so that you can even the odds against Trinity.
I even saw at one point she was painting her face all in mud and getting really down in there.
But that's the thing. This is the fantasy of becoming the jungle.
And again, they're talking about this become one with the jungle. We had that in the last game. Am I wrong here? I remember little stalking zones and using verticality to your advantage. I mean, again, I get it. I mean, I like that whole thing where in some other gameplay we've seen her gather mud and cover herself in it to use as kind of like a camouflage. I like that. Again, more in-depth stuff, but you're acting like this is new. This is not necessarily new stuff. Not even to the series. It's not really...
And this is the thing that you were talking about, all the options, this crazy amount of options you can do in stealth. We even redefined the way we were approaching the environment for the stealth, for example. So putting the mud gives you a lot more opportunities for you to hide and to disappear. And that's the thing that is key, because that's the ultimate, for her, the ultimate survival, the ultimate aspect of mastering the environment is all about is becoming that environment. So not only is she going to use the vine walls, but she will use more mud walls. She's going to disappear like that very quickly. So the enemies think it's not her attacking them. It's the world. It's the jungle. The animals go crazy. They start screaming. The monkeys go. Ah, ah, ah. So all this, the people are just, Trinity doesn't know. They're like, what the hell is happening? And everything we do in combat is to make Lara and the player be able to disappear And we even add a new AI component in there where the AI doesn't look for you anymore. It looks for potential threat. So you can play with them to do whatever you want with them, like a cat and mouse gameplay type thing.
They'll go where they think Lara was. And you can use that fear against the enemy.
Distract them and
you can distract them,
nice.
Or you could shoot an arrow behind a guard. He'll turn around quickly and fire where he thinks the arrow is coming from. He could maybe hit one of his soldiers. We have a crafting mechanic where you could make an arrow called the Jaguar's Fear, hit an enemy with it. He'll start to see visions, and he will then start shooting at his friends, saying, "You're one of them." So it's a great way to even the odds. Even the mud that Dan was talking about. One of my favorite moments is if you go head on with an enemy and do a takedown, if another guy is close enough to see it, he'll be like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then you can actually get a double takedown on him while he's scared, seeing his first friend get taken out.
Seems like there's tons of options to take down enemies in this version of Tomb Raider.
Absolutely. Tons of combat, but again, also, we really wanted to make sure that there was a great balance. We have to up the ante in everything. So we already talked about the traversal, we talked about the underwater survival, but when you talk about the hubs as well, Dan mentioned it's the biggest hub we've ever built in a Tomb Raider game. So yes, we're going to take you on that roller coaster ride, we'll give you the action, but every now and then we're going to pause the narrative, we're going to open up the world and say, okay, explore at your pace. There is tons of side quests, tons of challenge tombs, tons of people to interact with who are going to give you things to do. Social puzzles, which is a new type of experience that we have, where you have to figure out who wants what and help them get it in order for them to help you.
Kind of like an RPG mechanic that you're adding into it a little bit?
It's not so much an RPG as it is understanding the world and learning how, like a puzzle. We look at a puzzle element in combat, in traversal, as well as in the hubs. How do I make the world...
That's interesting. That sounds new. That more of a conversational sort of thing in a Tomb Raider game. But what they were talking about a couple seconds ago with opening the world, explore at your own pace, and doing this stuff. This is something that I think that a lot of people have always kind of seen and like I kind of compare this game a lot to Uncharted, because I think a lot of people have always kind of seen Uncharted as just kind of being, it's Tomb Raider but with a dude. They're kind of doing the same things, but to me, Uncharted has always kind of been more of an action movie. Uncharted's kind of been a Indiana Jones or a it's when it really comes down to it, it's more action focused. Tomb Raider has always kind of been, or at least this new version of Tomb Raider has more and more survival focused. But I think it was something that the last Uncharted game did was so phenomenal. Were those moments where it just let you explore the environment and be in the areas. Like when you were in Madagascar, just exploring all that. Or were you in Australia? Why do I think we were in Australia? No, you were in Madagascar. Yeah, you were in Madagascar. What's wrong with me? When you were exploring that big area in the Jeep with Sully and oh my God, why can't I remember Nate's brother? Nate, Sam, and Sully. And that section was so was just great. Being on that island, exploring the pirates of Libertalia. And there were so many of these like small little times that you could just explore and engage with the world. And I think we've already seen that in Tomb Raider, but I'm thinking from what they're saying here is that it's really going to be a big part of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and this is kind of what I mean. But I think these games have actually kind of played and taken from each other and had this kind of symbiosis with the other franchise, that I think they've taken what works and modified it for their own game. And I think this is just kind of that. It's kind of taking what it's done really well, mix that with, and then throw in a splash of what Uncharted kind of, in my opinion, borrowed from them to do with their last Uncharted game, and making something even that's in itself unique. I'm very excited for that, and that's very interesting the way they describe that. I see that because the way they're describing this again, I keep hearing elements of Uncharted in it.
Do what I want it to do.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So we're starting to run out of time. What's the one last thing you want to tell everybody out there about why Tomb Raider is going to be the best ever in the franchise?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting because for the fans who have been with us from the beginning, they know that this is the culmination of Lara's origin story. So this is Lara becoming the Tomb Raider she's meant to be. It's her achieving her destiny. For the new fans that are coming along who maybe didn't play the previous ones, it's great because the stakes have never been higher. This is the perfect time to jump in. This is the Maya apocalypse. This is Lara racing against Trinity to save humanity. So we're really excited for everybody to experience it on September 14th.
September 14th. We don't have to wait too long.
Don't wait too long.
All right, Ramon.
Wow,
thanks so much for
she pulls the dagger out of the thing, and the tomb starts collapsing. Who could have foreseen that? Yeah, I mean, from what we see, again, I still have narrative questions. Those are always my questions, and I'm sorry I ranted for so long at the very beginning of the game. At the very beginning about that, it's just that narrative is always very important to me. I see that as probably the most important thing about a game because I'm such a narrative focused kind of guy. Yeah, it's just I'm very interested of how this is going to, not just that this is going to be the final game in the kind of this Tomb Raider arc. I mean, although they keep saying the end to Lara's origin story. So does that mean Crystal Dynamics? Does that mean that they're going to do another Tomb Raider game after this, or what? But from everything I've heard, this is going to be the last Tomb Raider game, at least from Crystal Dynamics in this new trilogy. So yeah, I'm very excited to see where we're gonna go from here, and I'm gonna stand up real quick, probably go grab something to drink, and we will hop in with the next video. All right, let's get into this. This is welcome to Paititi, walkthrough video. This is also being done by PlayStation. You can find links, by the way, to all these videos down in the description. I'm sorry I did not mention that. Here we go. Is it playing? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay, see, this one says M. I'm like, how is this a T-rated game? Okay, well, we've already seen ass. Wonderful.
Hi, my name is Jason Dozwa, and I'm the narrative director on Shadow of the Tomb Raider. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft races to defeat Trinity and stop a Maya apocalypse. Along the way, she'll discover a hidden city. Welcome to Paititi, the largest hub ever found in a Tomb Raider game. It's home to a civilization untouched by modern culture and filled with challenge tombs and side missions. As Lara makes her way through Paititi, she'll visit multiple districts such as the fishing and residential areas. Lara can use her archaeologist skills to decipher murals. Doing so increases her translation ability and unlocks locations for hidden treasure and other secrets.
Okay, that was in the previous game, or similar things were in the previous game. Also, as we get that translation, do we get like subtitles to the languages that are being spoken out here? It kind of like
a thriving economy, and introduces a new barter system that allows Lara to trade for a wide variety of items, including crafting materials, outfits, and weapons.
Interesting.
By activating an option called voiceover immersion, you can hear the inhabitants of Paititi speak in their native language for an even more captivating experience. If you don't activate it, they will simply speak in your chosen voiceover language.
Will you trade? Please. I have barely made enough to offer in tribute.
Tribute to who?
The cult of Kukulkan, of course.
Sorry if you hear some barking going on in the background. My dog's looking upset. I feel like I had a point. See, I'm not sure how I feel about that language immersion. I'm glad it gives me that option, but I hope if I do go with the immersion, if I go with the immersion option to have them speak the native language, that I at least get subtitles. You know, again, it's kind of like the last video. It's my question is there actually like a HUD, or is there nothing? Like, we have to count bullets ourselves. If we run out of bullets, are we on our own? And just go, to start hearing click, 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 click. Oh, God, I have to reload. Oh, great, I have no bullets. Or I have no other bullets. Like, is it going to be one of those things? Or, Again, I'm interested to see that stuff, but again, it's like I said, it's do we get subtitles? Because if we don't get subtitles, no way in hell I'm doing that. But I do like the world. I mean, it looks. This kid's throwing shit at that guy. I like how vibrant it is. This is kind of what I was getting at the end of the last video with how I see bits and pieces of Uncharted in these Tomb Raider games and bits and pieces of the Tomb Raider games in the Uncharted games. I feel like this is like that next step, the natural evolution of what we saw in the second Tomb Raider game, and some of that stuff out of Uncharted. I mean, in all honesty, like, this area is something I would expect to see kind of like in an Assassin's Creed game, or kind of like what we saw in AC4. The temple. I can't remember where exactly the assassin temple was in that game. But, you had that South American tribe who kind of met with the assassins and kind of joined forces. It kind of reminds me of that, like this area, in its architecture, its color schemes, the characters, everything, walking around. I think is a very interesting direction to go with this. Oh, sorry, I'm also interested to see how this barter system is going to work. I mean, is it going to be like is it going to be like currency, or is it going to be more trading, as in I go out and kill and get pelts and everything? And is it one of those like I offer this and I ask for this and offer this, or is it going to be like set prices? Like that's what I'd like a little bit more information on the barter system.
The inhabitants of Paititi go about their business, though many have optional information or side quests for Lara to complete. Doing so will not only reward her with experience points, new weapons, and more, it can also yield new information within the narrative.
Alright, sorry. If it's not obvious, I haven't seen this video and I didn't watch the last video. I like to come into these blind and give you guys my first takes. So if it seems like I'm rambling sometimes trying to get a point across, I'm trying to work it out in my own head as I talk to you guys. So I don't know. Some people I'm sure would like it, some people wouldn't. It's kind of my style.
I thought I told you to go.
Kuali is safe, and I have the herbs your wife needs.
Really?
Le shimbali taktush, yan le tioka tuya lachtene, le kushotobo, le kukimesiko balcheo.
Oh, cool, we can pet llamas? Alright, game of the year.
Thank you for all you've done.
The town square and religious district are both filled with people, and one of the inhabitants lets Lara know about a challenge tomb outside the city.
Lara, I hate to ask you, but
would I go and get the champion's bow?
thank you. You will find the entrance directly across from here, up the shore of the river.
Don't worry, I'll do my best to get the bow.
I love how everybody. I like how everybody just sees her walking around. She's clearly not a native, and just like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, you'd think people would kind of stop and stare a little bit. I mean, so we already. I'll pause just in case he just starts talking. I mean, we heard her talking about how going to that temple and finding this particular bow or this item. I'm gonna guess that the challenge tombs in this one again aren't necessary. Again, by the fact they're called challenge tombs. Sorry, hiccup. I assume that they aren't necessary to the main plot of the game. But again, I feel like in this one they're going to be giving us like bows or armor or again certain items as opposed to what we've gotten in the previous games. I think they're pushing us more and more, going like, you don't have to, but there's some really cool stuff if you complete the bonus, if you complete the optional tombs. It's not just get all these and you get this collectible. It's no, like each individual tomb has a specific reward. I think from what I'm hearing, at least from this specific one, that's what we're getting more of. It's more of complete the tomb and you get a specific reward for that tomb. Or there's more narrative reasons as well to enter these tombs. Not just, oh, well, here's a tomb, and oh, I found whatever. I'm just trying to find ways to integrate the tombs into the game a little more than just, oh, they're there, let's just go see what's there. Yeah, more llamas.
You can play the way you want by adjusting difficulty independently for puzzles, exploration, and combat to easy, normal, or hard. Here, exploration difficulty is set to hard, which removes the white paint that usually shows you where to climb.
Oh, that's cool. See, I like that, how the difficulty isn't just combat, and usually when it's combat difficulty, it's, okay, we're just going to make the enemies be stronger, or just put more of them in your way, or give you less ammo. This is an interesting, how it affects all aspects of the game. It's not just combat, it's also the puzzles, and that's something new. I gotta hand it to him, or at least something I have not seen that often. I can't remember another game that I've seen that in. That's a cool thing to do.
The Paititi hub includes a dense jungle that hides several challenge tombs. It also has crypts tucked away, though reaching them will require some advanced traversal skills. The reward is great, however, as crypts are now as large as tombs used to be, offering a trap-filled labyrinth to navigate and rewards for those who can survive them. However, Lara is still looking for the challenge tomb she was told about, and it seems the entrance is hidden underwater.
Oh,
one of Lara's skills is an upgraded breath meter, so she can reach the tomb.
Okay, there we go. An answer. We do have an upgrade. We have an upgradable breath meter. So okay, so underwater survival makes a little bit more sense now with what they were talking about in the last video. There we go. There's my answer, or at least a small portion of my answer here. Oh my god, what was I about to say? It was something about, oh, when she jumped off that thing, I was kind of hoping, it was anybody but me kind of hoping that they brought back the traditional, like, the swan dive. You know, the arms out and then into the dive, not just the simple sploosh.
The gate's open. Now I'll just have to get over there.
Yeah, because of course it makes sense that there's all of these weird spinning death traps. People who made these places, I always have to wonder, man, I'm not talking about like developers. Like when I see that stuff in movies, I'm like, why? You're making it so complicated, and for what feels like there's not really a reason. Let's go back a quick second. No, I saw ancient understand. Okay. I was making sure I had that read correctly.
Tombs are brutal and filled with even more traps and puzzles. They also require new traversal skills such as rappelling and swimming in order to unlock the secrets they hold. We won't spoil this one, which is known as the Warrior's Trial. In Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Lara must explore the hidden city of Paititi, survive the deadly jungle that surrounds it, and overcome brutal tombs in order to become the Tomb Raider she's destined to be.
Cool. All right. Well, I mean that was a little bit of a shorter video. All right, guys. Well, that's been the show this week. I hope you like this little look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider coming out September 14th. Like I said, man, a week after Spider-Man. The rest of this year is gonna be freaking nuts. But all right, guys. Thanks for watching. I know the show isn't like usual. It's just, again, there wasn't much news. Links to the videos will be in the description. I hope you had some fun. Hope you learned something. Always feel free to tell me whatever you thought about what I'm doing. Not just necessarily my opinions, but also the way I do things. I mean, if you think I should give these things like a cursory glance beforehand, feel free to tell me that. If you just think I didn't make sense or rambled too much, tell me, and I'll try and cut back on that stuff. I'm always happy to hear your guys' opinions and critiques, just trying to improve on the channel. And other than that, I want to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links, all that stuff can be found down in the description below. Please remember to like, comment. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my name's AJ Gels. This is the Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm out.